I think AI will evolve pretty dramatically in 2024 as it relates to cybersecurity. Obviously, there's a lot of excitement, and I think well-justified excitement around AI. I think there's also a lot of promises that will probably not be met in the near term around AI.
Historically, people have either been really for or against AI. I think that if you don't embrace it, people are just going to figure out what workarounds. So we focus a great deal about enabling and training our teams on how to properly use it and put safeguards in there.
Going into 24, I think the big opportunity and exciting trend is looking outside of the traditional SOC. What we're seeing from Swimlane's perspective is the pervasive use of automation beyond the traditional use cases, crossing across many parts of the organization in the security domain.
Things will have the biggest impact on the cybersecurity market from an investment perspective next year. I think a lot of folks are really focused on how do they do more with less. Obviously, 2023 from a macroeconomic perspective was not the growth we'd seen in 2021 and 2022. And I think in 24, we're not going to see a decrease in the amount of cybersecurity spending. The need obviously is continuing to grow, but I don't see budgets expanding dramatically. They're probably flat to barely up. And I think for that reason, organizations are going to have to get more value out of the money they're spending, both in their people and in their technology. So I think folks are really looking at ways to better leverage the things that they've made investments in, or looking at investments that are going to pay off from a true ROI perspective, from a budget perspective.
I think that cybersecurity threats will become a lot more smarter, and I think the industry has to evolve how to face those threats and respond to them in a very effective way. I think that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is, I think the world around us, I don't think it is as secure as it was than what it was previous years ago. So those two things coming in, I think it is the tools and technologies, actually the service providers on this industry to look at those things and see how creatively we can come up with better solutions to the market so that we can confront those threats much more easily.
I think some of the things that we haven't been able to touch on so far is there's a lot of changes from a regulatory perspective happening. We're seeing changes with SEC, we're seeing changes around European and US law. I think the expectations for the ability to track, monitor, and report ongoing real-time security activities, the pressure is only going up, especially for public companies. So people have to think about not just how do they keep an adversary out, but inevitably, it's not an if, it's a when question.
With cybersecurity in particular, a focus on more brand trust. And I think one thing that vendors need to do is they need to establish credibility with what they actually deliver for their customers and be able to back that up with actual data. And so more and more, rather than just doing flash in the pan messaging, it's going to become more about substantial content, substantial data, and being able to activate that data across a multitude of channels, building trust with prospective buyers.